Hi everybody, thank you for watching. Today I was going to talk about your career in astrology. Now, like I said before in my other videos, there is so much to astrology. So I'm basically giving you guys really basic information here. Of course, if you get your chart done or whatever, there's going to be more details and everything going on. If you don't know that much about astrology or you're not aware of where your midheaven is, because that's what we're talking about today, there's a lot of free websites out there. I mentioned Astrodianist in one of my other videos, and that's one I like to send people to if they're just trying to learn on their own. So what the midheaven is in astrology is it's an angle, and it's at the very top of your chart, and their little symbol for it is MC. The reason why it's so important is similar to the ascendant, is it's an angle that kind of tells a lot about our personality and what's going on with that. So there are 12 houses in the zodiac, as many of you know, and I'm not going to obviously be able to get into all of those today, but the 10th house is our career, it's our public standing, it's how we're viewed by people and our superiors, or if we work for ourselves or our customers, and it's really important with the whole personality. So another thing I look at with career is the second house, and the reason why I look at the second house is because that's how we make our money, that's what we value. But today we're not talking about the second house, we're talking about the 10th house. So I'm going to start with Aries, like I do, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So if somebody has Aries on the midheaven, this is going to give somebody that has a tremendous amount of initiative. These people can really get things started, get things going. They're not lazy. The problem with an Aries on the MC is sometimes they don't have follow through. So that's an area they need to work on. Mars rules Aries. So if you have Mars up here on the midheaven, again, this is somebody who's really, they're very physical people. They're more physical than they are mental, for the most part. So, you know, you can see people that work in the military with this placement, or police officers, or people that have to, sports is a big one with Aries or Mars on the MC or midheaven. The next sign we're going to talk about up there in the midheaven is Taurus. Taurus is, the thing about a Taurus midheaven is these people, they have beautiful voices. I see a lot of singers with this, and I know a lot of people that have a Taurus midheaven who they just have a great voice. So, Taurus is ruled by Venus. So Venus up there too, similar to Libra, but I'm going to get to Libra in a second, is, you know, this is there's a certain amount of charm with Venus there. And people ask me a lot about their career and what they should be doing and if they're going to get where they want. And if somebody has Venus there, especially with a trine or, you know, a conjunction, it gives them a certain amount of charisma that kind of gets them where they need to be. So, and meeting the right people too. And it helps them, it connects them with the right people. So it can give actually a physical, like people find them attractive, but as we know, it's being attractive isn't the most important thing, but more importantly, it's the charisma that the person has that makes them kind of excel in whatever career if they use that energy correctly. The third sign I'm going to talk about up on the midheaven is the sign Gemini. So this is what's interesting about Gemini is there's that duality to a Gemini. You know, it's ruled by Mercury, which is the communicator. So these are people that a lot of times they have two different jobs or more than two different jobs. They're great salespeople, and because they're such good communicators, and you know they're a little bit all over the place. I know people with Gemini MCs that midheavens that are just they have like a night job and a day job, and they're just people that are all over. But that can be a good thing too, because it's best not to depend on just one thing to make a living. So, and they're, again, Mercury gives that knowledge, so they love to communicate. The fourth sign is Cancer, and Cancer on the midheaven, you know, these people, because Cancer is ruled by the moon and the natural fourth house in the zodiac, so they're just so into like the home and family, and they're great social workers. They can be great nurses. They're great cooks. They're very creative in that way, and that's because the moon rules the stomach too. So that's what's going on. And the moon there, let's say somebody has the moon trine the midheaven. These are people that work well with women, or predominantly women oriented, you know, kind of jobs. Nowadays, I don't know what that is anymore because everybody's doing everything, but those types of jobs. So then we have Leo next. So A Leo midheaven, you guys know Leos like to be the center of attention. They like to shine. Again, I mentioned this before. I see a lot of politicians with this placement. I see a lot of actresses with this placement. I see a lot of entertainers in general with a Leo midheaven. So whatever they do, they're going to do it big. And they're going to, you know, I don't know, they like the attention, and there's nothing wrong with that, and they're usually very good at it. So they're able to kind of bring in a crowd, and same thing with the sun there. If you have a sun trine the midheaven, if you have the sun conjunct the midheaven, you know, you're going to be somebody that shines in the limelight. You like that, and it really doesn't matter what your career is, but they naturally gravitate towards jobs where they're able to be center stage. Then we have Virgo. Virgo is on the midheaven, is great for medicine. And the reason why is because Virgos are just so detail oriented. You know, I see a lot of people, my clients in the medical field, with a lot of Virgo going on, a lot of Virgo in the midheaven, you know. And again, these people, and they're also, not only are they good at medicine, but anything that takes a lot of detail. Okay, so they're not necessarily big picture people like a Leo person. They're just huge, big, you know, they want it all. Virgo is going to be very systematic, which is good if you're a doctor or a dentist or anything in the medical field. So next we have the the Libra on the midheaven. And again, Libra is also ruled by Venus. So there's a certain amount of charisma and charm that goes with these people. But these people are into anything that has to do with beauty, fashion, any of those kind of things. So you can think about cosmetologists, hair, makeup, people that, you know, decorate houses, anything doing with things that are aesthetically attractive or pleasing. That's very, very Libra on the midheaven. Next we have Scorpio. So the Scorpio, you know, they're the investigators of the Zodiac. They want to get to the bottom of everything. Somebody with their midheaven in Scorpio, and again, this is something I've seen quite a lot, they get into forensics. Even librarians, because when you think about it, they have to investigate, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Anything that has to do with getting underneath the surface. And it could even be, you know, the occult and stuff like that. But there's so much also to the career. And again, I'm giving you guys like a basic astrology lesson on the midheaven. There's way more to this, but that's basically Scorpio. So there's that intense kind of a job, you know. Next we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So these are people that it's like, I guess I would say more of an educational thing. You know, these are people that are great at anything where they're teaching on the midheaven. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm an elementary school teacher, but any kind of job where you're teaching. Corporate trainers would be an example. College professors, anything where you're teaching is very Sagittarius. Also, Sagittarius rules travel. So these people can travel for a living, and especially to foreign places and lands. That's all very Jupiter and Sagittarius. Next we have Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. That's the natural ruler of the 10th house. So these people, you guys, are gonna have success. The problem with Saturn is it's gonna be slow. So Saturn takes a long time to make things happen. And Saturn is also the planet of restrictions, but being that it is the natural ruler of the 10th house, these people will get where they want to go through hard work. So everybody needs to be, you know, working as hard as they can and waking up and making things happen and taking that initiative. So all these signs are important. But Saturn, you guys, Capricorn up there, you're going to get there. There might be some obstacles, especially up to about the age of 30, where we have our Saturn return, which I'll be doing a video on that too. It's super important to know about Saturn cycles. But after the age of 30, you guys should be rocking and rolling, and you'll make it. Trust me. Then we have Aquarius. So Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus. And Aquarius, you know, can be a little bit, it's an air sign. So, you know, these people a lot of times are into technology. They're really good at that kind of stuff. You know, Aquarius rules astrology. Specifically, Uranus rules astrology. Not Uranus is a little bit different than an Aquarius on the midheaven. But they kind of want to be free. Now, here's the problem, and I see this quite a lot, especially with Uranus aspecting the midheaven. you can be free and you can be your own boss, but be prepared to work for that, because everybody wants to do their own thing. But if you're not willing to put in all those years of building a business or whatever, it's not going to happen. So if these people work hard, they can be very much self-made. I found that, but make sure you're willing to work for it, because nothing comes that easy. The 12th and last sign in the zodiac is Pisces. These people, when this is up on the midheaven, they don't like necessarily care about money that much. That's not really their gig. They just kind of want to maybe just do something where they feel emotionally good. So I do see a lot of artists with this placement. I do see a lot of painters. I do see a lot of people like that. And they're not necessarily like, oh, I need to make this much money or whatever. And that's what I would warn them about. Like, it's good not to be superficial for sure, but people on planet Earth, you know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Make sure that you have enough money to pay your bills. So that's what I always tell people with a strong Neptune up there and or Pisces. Now keep in mind, guys, again, like I said, this is very simple. So you might be like, well, that doesn't sound like me. When I do a chart, I start with the rising sign. It's like a puzzle. I find the ruler of the ruler of the ruler of the ruler. I use my intuition. I'm a psychic for a living. I take notes. There's a lot of aspects with the midheaven that can be going on that can switch things up. If you got a square or an opposition, that's your challenge. That's good. That's how we grow, is to have, you know, difficulties. That's how we grow in life. And then there's trines, which are great. They kind of make things flow easy for us. So again, there is a lot to astrology, but if you want to take a look, like I said, check out one of those free sites and look at the very top, and the little symbol is the MC, and that is your midheaven. And I want to thank you again, everybody, for watching, subscribing to this. Next time I'm talking about Leo and how to love yourself like a Leo. So if you know a Leo, if you are a Leo, if you know anybody with, well, we all have Leo somewhere, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I'm going to be talking about that. So keep writing your suggestions, and I will be back very soon. Thanks so much.